Hey all, here at OS Reviews. Over the years, we've checked out a few products from Divoom, a pretty interesting company that specializes in pixel art products. Some of them, like the Ditto that we saw a few months back, is actually a Bluetooth speaker that has an interactive pixel art display. And today we're taking a look at another product from them. It's called the PixooMax. Unlike the Ditto, though, it doesn't have a built-in speaker, so it's meant primarily as a pixel art retro-style display. And in this case, it's really large. It has 32 by 32 pixels, which you can program using the same Divoom app to send various messages, animations over to it. And the premise here is you can use it in many different ways. First of all, it includes a mounting kit, so you can pop it onto your car even, to create different logos, or if you want to thank another driver on the road, you can also create kind of a thank you animation. So it's neat that you can use it there. You can mount it also on the glass pane of a store window and use it as a digital bulletin board. And then in the house, you can still use it for various artwork, animations. You can see a pop-up if you get a new message. And there's actually an existing item called the Pixoo, this one called the Pixoo-Max, just has a larger display. The regular Pixoo has 16 by 16 pixels. Again, this one has 32 by 32. Here's what the packaging looks like. Pixel art creation, mood lighting, music visualizer, multi-use. Download the companion app, which is the same for all of their series of products. And then just some basic specs are printed on the rear. Packaging here still looks very fancy. Now in here, the top compartment includes the PixooMax display itself, which we'll take a closer look at in a moment. Underneath here, we've got lots of colorful little pixel art inspired stickers, very cute. And we also have a quick instruction manual that is documented pretty well, going through all the various features. Some other accessories included. We have, first of all, a USB Type-C cable for providing power, and this is also a little kickstand. You can attach it on the rear to pop it up like a kickstand. This is the mounting adapter for popping it onto a window or onto the glass of your car. And we also have an adapter for plugging and supplying power in the car, and even an extension cable, so you have enough cable length to still reach and supply power to it. So taking a closer look at the PixooMax itself, it is very sleek. We can kind of make out the individual pixels on the screen here. Again, 32 by 32 for the size, a perfect square. The frame here is constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic, but it does feel pretty solid overall. The bottom portion here is where you can slide in the Type-C port for power, and then on the rear here there is a dot that you can use to pop in a little kickstand if you're putting this onto a desk when using it indoors. And there's also another little kind of hook here that you can use to even mount it onto the wall. Now plugging it in, you can hear a beep sound, so there is technically a small kind of mono beep speaker. It doesn't play back music, but that's what it uses to alert you, and also if you're using it as an alarm clock. It goes through this animation upon first boot and then starts off in the time as the initial display here. There's no keys or controls on this thing, by the way, so it's not touch sensitive. It doesn't have any buttons on it, so for controlling it, it is relying completely on the Bluetooth companion app. It's illuminated very well and creates this throwback vibe, but still giving us a larger canvas now for enjoying the content compared to the smaller size of their other products like the Ditto speaker. Here it is next to a phone that has about a 6-inch screen, just for a comparison. Interface is colorful, and the community is ever expanding because, again, Divoom's products have become gradually getting more and more popular. Here we can see a gallery of some of the different pixel arts that various community members and the company themselves have designed. Now I can tap on the plus key here first to connect to a different device. Ditto and the PixooMax. I'm going to tap on the PixooMax here, and once it's connected using Bluetooth, you'll see that pop up. And we can now begin trying to interact with it. So tapping on this, for example, you'll see that same artwork pop over there just a second later, pretty fast and seamless, among other visualizations that you can pick from, and they all work pretty well. So I can tap on some other ones. Again, it's pretty fast and responsive in terms of the sending process. One more here, just as a quick demo. And finally, other things from this interface. We can also sort through these animations by experts, which are the community members that have made the most animations, which have been favorited by others. Sorting by character, so this will show us just sprites as opposed to other more symbolic animations that we saw from before. So there's really categories for all types of animations these days. There's just thousands and thousands that you can pick from, and you can even find other patterns and creative ones, and just kind of goes back and forth. So a very complete list of all types of animations that you can play around with. Possibilities really are endless here, and just to showcase something like this on your desk as people are walking by, it's a great conversation starter, a great mood or atmospheric light. There's a Polaroid that you can pull up, which is kind of fun. Different famous logos and icons. This is the Windows 95 icon. So that's all as part of the center page. If I tap on the writing key, I can further create my own design or animation. Let's start with something simple like just a design. I can change things like the color of the brush that I want to use and say something like hello. And you can see that the image here will pop over in real time, and it overall works pretty well. In terms of Discover, in terms of this tab, you can do other things like creating, coloring. So if I like this emoji face, for example, it tells you to first select the black kind of bars to color in. You kind of rub it using your fingers here, and then here you can change the color to yellow. That's really the face, and as you start coloring, it becomes something that's transferred over here onto the display in real time, as you can see there. They've also got an interactive music mode for you to do things like create visualizations that flash along with the music. But again, there is no built-in speaker on this particular display, so even though it's capable of showing the visualizations, the audio part will be still coming out from your phone or silenced in our demo here. But anyways, this is kind of an interesting way of visualizing music as you create some different beats and loops. Our other functions on here include the aforementioned alarm clock, which you can then set up. You can create a series of notifications and smart alarms on the planner. So for example, 7 to 7:01, wake up alarm, and then 7:01 to 7:20, wash up, and then you'll hear another alarm that prompts you to have breakfast, and then work, lunch throughout the day. So it will be kind of a series of alarms that you can create a sequence using the planner. Under games, you can find some interactive things to play around with, including pixel Tetris, which is kind of neat. So if I tap on Go, your phone becomes still the controller pad, and it has haptic vibrations, and then the display here just shows the Tetris pieces that we can move along and also create different rotations and kind of push down and kind of proceed through the game. The other games you can find on the top list over here. So the next one here is pixel slot. We have another game here called pixel dice. So say I want to play the pixel dice, it's going to just roll a random dice. That might be useful if you're in a board game, kind of random from 1 to 6. Magic 8 box, it will just also answer a question. So if you ask it something, keep it in your head, and then you can then roll the magic 8 ball, so on and so forth. Astral Battle is kind of like a brick breaker game, so you're able to control this little lever here and then try to keep the piece afloat. Next one here is Flappy Wings. It's a version of Flappy Bird. And then again, haptic vibrations on the phone. You'll see the pieces start to fly along. And there's even Pixel Snake on here, which is pretty neat. So this all works quite well using these retro-styled games. Pixel Race, simple racing game. Block Eliminator. Over here we have a Pixel Frog, some other more unusual titles. Gomoku. And then over here we have Pixel Match. Pixel Fighter, Galactica inspired, lots of these slightly interesting titles that you can try out. So here we can kind of roll along, and surprisingly it is actually quite fun and interesting to have this be more than just a display, but something you can do with a bit of gaming, retro style. Here's what the stopwatch function looks like. You can start it, and it becomes a display that shows you how long has been elapsed with a moving animation of what looks like a duck on the top. Pretty cute. And we also have other things like celebrations, a countdown meter. You can start a countdown and it will kind of tick off like a bomb, which is very interesting. If we do a 1 minute time off, it will just continue ticking away here in the background. We also have a noise meter, so it will use the microphone on your phone, in this case, to tell you how loud it is in the environment, which is kind of neat. Here we also have something like a scoreboard, so if you're playing a board game, you can use this to tally up scores between players. Under channels, by the way, you can also set up various reoccurring widgets that you want it to cycle through by itself. So for example, right now showing the time, but you can also change it into a different time face. Might be easier to see from afar in this example. Others which are more analog, some which are digital in terms of their style, and you can see it just roll along in various different patterns. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Divoom PixooMax. Again, in this case, it's really all about presenting a larger version of their pixel art display at a price which is still reasonable, giving you access to all the customizations that we've come to love and expect from their app, from different artwork, animations, even games, things that you can use it for as notifications. Again, you can mount this onto a window if you're using it as a store sign. You can use it for, of course, in the home and also in the car. So lots of different applications that you can find using this app. Under lighting here, you can further kind of turn it on or off as a remote, basically, changing the color shade and making it just one color. Tons of effects to discover, really just a never-ending supply. The only thing that you don't get in this case would be, again, the speaker capability for playing back music. So you can check out more details if you are interested in the links down below. But for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been a hands-on look at the new Divoom PixooMax